All right, just getting started here. It is Tuesday, November 7th, 6:40 in the morning. And I noticed I miscalculated my percentage overall yesterday. 39 wins, 11 losses. I had put 76%, but which I don't know what I did, but it's supposed to be 78%. I was 80% before the loss yesterday. Anyway, I'm just taking a look here at what we've got going on. And I'm just going to see. I think we have something like this. And then on the downside, looks like we have something like this. And maybe I want to draw a range. It's looking something like that right now. So probably expecting a new low here. So if I get a setup for a new low, I have to think about that.
Order submitted.
So first entry short on Pats. All stacked up. Signal bar here, or you can come back down. No. Middle of the range here. I'm expecting a new low. All right.
Order canceled.
Not quite seeing a setup here, but we have two legs up. Basically, this channel looks legit. So I would expect it to come back down and retest this low, but I'll pause here and see what happens. All right, and here's the move down. I didn't like this for an entry for Pats, so I didn't take it. There's a PB
Order submitted.
right now. If it goes 2 ticks below the bear bar to get that new low. It's not going to trigger. No trigger. Maybe a lower high. Kind of stacked up again. And a signal bar. All right, I'm pause here.
Order canceled.
So I've just been thinking about my trading lately, and I think the biggest problem I've run into is when I got really close to qualifying for a payout on number 3, and even number 1 got really close. I think I tightened up. I started skipping trades, just kind of trading out of fear, and I think I'm letting a lot of good trades go, and then by luck or who knows what, I'm happening to pick trades that end up losing. And the problem is I'm not taking advantage of my edge, that if I'm taking every trade I should be taking, that the ones I'm supposed to win, I'm missing. And so I'm getting the losses, but I'm not getting the wins that I should be getting. So I really need to focus on being more aggressive, taking the trade when I see it. It's important to look for reasons not to take a trade because that can keep you out of some losses. But it's also important to be willing to take the trade setup when you see it and trust your read, trust the system, trust the setup. Here's a second entry.
Order submitted.
Second entry long. Expecting a new low. A bit sideways here, but I was waiting for a second tick below the signal bar, so that kept me out of a loser.
Order canceled.
Not entirely sure what's going on here. Seems to be a bullish imbalance that that didn't get back down to the bottom here. So maybe it's not going to be a range ultimately. I see I could have a channel down like this actually. If you do it that way, you've already got a break in a new low. So you're not looking for a new low anymore here. In which case you have this up channel. I haven't seen any trades. This one surely would have burned me if it went more than 1 tick, because I was looking for the new low. I think this channel is now correct. So new low there, working at bullish imbalance. We'll see if we get setups for longs. Just got to be careful going into the resistance here. Previous day low is there, the high is there. Yesterday's high is not much higher. So I'll pause here and see what happens. But yeah, I think I just need to try to be more aggressive, take the setups when I see them. I'm getting losses anyways, so I shouldn't be fearful of getting a loss because that's happening. So the only thing I can do is just take the setups, try not to skip so many, and hopefully the numbers over here will bear out when I'm taking the setups as I see them. All right, so this thing just got sent off to the moon, outside of the range. Just gonna see something like this is in play. Seems like it midline, so I just extended it to a second tier, and so the bullish balance seems pretty real. I also wonder, I'm just going to draw this just as a possibility as well. In case we are headed up, that might become something for later. And see if there's anything shorter term. Let me try something like this too, just to have an idea. But I didn't see any setup to take anything. Pause here and see what comes up. Just watching this here, I found what looks kind of like a channel here. Seems confirmed. So there's a first entry long, kind of could be second entry long. I think what I'd want to do is wait for a higher low or something, but just keeping my eye on it.
Order submitted.
Order down here. This would be a second entry long here, but it's not off of a key entry point. It's right into what was the opening resistance. If this close was up here, I'd maybe think that was a breakout pullback. So if this does continue higher, I might need to find a higher low up here or something on my other strategy to be able to take it long. So right now, this looks like maybe just some sort of failed breakout, although it's not much of a range. So I am thinking long. I'm not going to go long here, obviously. It's all stacked up. But we'd like to see if there's a reaction off of this. If it continues up, I mean, that will make this blue channel legit. Otherwise, it looks like maybe it's an overshoot. Although the 2-tier looks perfect, so. The thing I can look for is if there's something here. I always found this difficult when trading paths is, do you pay more attention to the potential range and it's just a failed breakout? What happens if you get a setup going back into this? Can you take it since it's already broke through? Or do you have to wait until it's clearly above it? A situation like this, you can adjust it slightly so there's no break. So there is a reaction happening on that blue channel. And this would be the second entry long, no signal bar. It's giving me yesterday vibes. Slow market. Doesn't know where it wants to go. I think yesterday's loss, what I lost track of was it had a big move up at the end of the day. And the move was so big, it's like maybe I should have, I probably shouldn't have been looking for shorts at all. Is probably the reality is it was such a big move up, so strong, that I probably should have just continued to look for longs. So this blue channel is definitely legitimate. No setup I can take though. Nothing on my Nlts strat. So I'll just pause and wait for something. I'm just watching here to see if we have a higher low after second entry long. It's also possible if the close is up here, it might be an OJ. Getting ready for an OJ just in case. Doesn't look like that's happening here. Let's see. So I am seeing a possible OJ still. Just need to close like above this, which is right at the previous day's close. This channel is still intact. If it turns up, it would still be a higher low. It's possible we have a higher low engulfing OJ at the same time, if it wants to do that. Doesn't feel like that's what it's doing. So higher low, not the best signal bar, not bad, but below the EMA. I would take a continuation of that, which could be the OJ above it. So I have my order ready on my chart to the left. expecting a retest of this, at the very least. Doesn't seem like it wants to get there. All right, so that kind of looks like a break. I'll keep adjusting it down a little bit. It still works. Here, this might be the OJ. I don't want to go too high. Right here, close right here would be good for me. No, it's not an OJ.
Order canceled.
I really thought that was going to be an OJ, but not getting the signal. And a questionable break. So it's doing everything I was expecting it to do, just without a setup I can take. That's always a bummer. All right. I'll pause here and see if something else comes up. All right. Well, the one thing I can say is even though the results of my trading hasn't been so good lately, my read of the market hasn't been bad. You know, the things that I'm saying out loud, I think are what's expected to happen, have largely been playing out. I'm just not getting setups to get in on those moves. Here we have the retest of this high that I was looking for. So as far as since I've been drawing the channels, I think I'm largely getting the overall context correct now. So now I just need to trust my setups and take them when I see them. And unfortunately, there has been no setup for me to capitalize on trying to get back to this high. You could kind of say first entry short, second entry short failure, but it's an inside bar. It's not even touching the EMA. It's also kind of like a breakout pullback sort of, but just not, doesn't look quite like the kind of setup I'd want to take for a Pat's entry. And I say that yesterday I skipped how many Pat's entries that all would have worked, and then the one that looked like the one I wanted it to look like, where I wanted it, and I called it out where I wanted it, failed on me. So, I got to consider that too, I guess, and say if the context is right, maybe you still take it. I don't know. I see a lot of YouTubers taking what I think look like crazy Pat's trades, and they seem to work. So maybe that's something I should start considering, but it's always hard. It's subjective. All right, so a big spike up here. I mean, I don't think this really counts as a break. It's possible, but it's not very convincing. I still have the bigger green just in case. But yeah, this market definitely feels like it's wanting to rise. We did just surpass the previous day's high, so let's see if it's a failed breakout of that or not. I think this range is pretty much toast. even though maybe we're looking for that measured move up there. The other thing I haven't done yet is just see what this measured move is, which puts you right where we are. So is the move played out? Will it continue? I don't know. There's also an argument you can say, we'll measure this, and then you have another target up here. So who knows? It's possible. All right, I'll hang out till I see something. All right, so that didn't take long to get to this other measured move. And also kind of reached the convergence of the green channel and the blue channel at the same place. So that's interesting. Still no setups. Just surprised that this moved up so quickly. Again, it's like, can tell where it was going, but just no setups unless you just buy any pullback. I mean, it's a strong uptrend at that point. See this channel, it's just about to break for the first time maybe. Let's see what happens. In here, basically to the tick on the measured move, the second measured move, respecting the top of both of these channels, the potential of the green channel and the blue channel. So, you know, we'd love to see it come down here or come down here and be able to get into a trade for a long. The way this is going up, I don't think I want to take any shorts. So just going to be waiting for a while, it seems. There's been two setups already where there's been a break, new high, and then a lower high with room back down to the EMA for Pat's short going counter trend. So I'm just looking at this and going, is this going to be another one of those? Because I saw it here and I saw it at the open before I was on, but here. Doji, the bearish doji, this didn't trigger, and now this is going up again. So now we have a higher. So it's not happening here. But I was just thinking to myself that maybe we're going to get another one of these situations. Really, again, just not a lot of price action and over an hour of trading since the open. Not a lot of opportunities. All right, so this thing now looks like it's gotten pushed up so far. We've got an overshoot of the blue channel, which is a confirmed channel, which might have had a little break already anyway. Definitely looking like an overshoot. And then the green channel, which isn't confirmed yet, overshooting that as well. Still going. I haven't seen any setups. Oh, excuse me. I sneezed there. Tried to mute, but I was too late. Okay, so this thing is just on fire, but I gotta take this as an overshoot at this point. I've already widened this channel when it broke up here, and it confirmed it here all these times. So this definitely looks like overshoot territory. So I'll be very careful to take any longs after this, and you gotta be careful to take shorts. So what do? I don't know. Just stay patient. Only take a trade if you see a really good quality setup is my plan. And I don't see any other channels. So Yeah, you go, okay, well, can I widen it maybe to the wick here? It still doesn't get you there. So if I widen the green channel to make it like the midline, maybe something like that, but it's not even confirmed yet. So I'm going to take the green off. Just going to look at this and consider it an overshoot and go from there. And just remembered I had this measured move of the original range of the open. Just touched that perfectly, slightly above, but perfect. So maybe that was the destination for the overshoot, and we'll see what happens here. All right, and I just found another channel that seems to work off this, but it's pretty weird looking. I don't really think that's so legit. I'm just going to stick with the idea that this is an overshoot. We reached the measured move of the opening range, and we just got to let this play out and see what happens. So watching this right here, got the overshoot, got a second entry long. Second entry long signal bar is no good to take a second entry long. It's inside a down channel. But if it fails, would it be a good failure? Am I brave enough
Order
to
submitted.
take a short at this point when I got a loss yesterday on a short? Strong up day, but you had the overshoot. I don't like that it's outside of the channel.
Order canceled.
Prefer to take these when they're inside the channel. I do expect the second leg down. It is after an overshoot, so you expect the second entry longs to get trapped. Flat EMA. Can't do anything here. I'll be waiting. Actually changing my channel to this. This is how Mac would draw it, I'm guessing. So 1 leg, 2 legs. Right on the midline, but you got an overshoot, so it's just, what do? Gotta wait. I'm just thinking if this thing continues to move up, and perhaps it's not an overshoot. Maybe it just needs to get moved up. The midline still seems to be playing a role in some key spots. So this market's been so strong. I mean, in context-wise, it's been so strong. Not that we're really up all that much, but look at this. It's still going up. So I'm starting to think it's not an overshoot. We never did get a full second leg down. So maybe here we're going to get down here. So I'm going to leave it like this for now. So I'm going to be very wary of taking a long off of this. And just got to look how flat the EMA is here. Just got to really be careful in this spot. This is where a lot of people take losses on PATS trades. I'm just looking at this. I think this was probably right. There's no reason not to draw it that way. You don't see Mac drawing these, but I mean, you got a touch here, touch here, touch here. It's clearly confirmed. It's just weird that there's only one touch on the bottom, but then you do get the new low. So just waiting. All right, I just got back from taking a break. I think I left somewhere around, I don't know, somewhere around here. Took a good 20-minute break or so. I just drew this tight range here, and I just drew the bigger range just to kind of see. I mean, we're back at the top of what the measured move from the opening range is. I also adjusted this channel a little bit. I made it so it has a break, but I also made it so that it's not an overshoot. It still seems to be going up, so I don't know. It seems a little odd. Break, new high, but yet drawing it this way, which is the original way I had it drawn before I adjusted for this, I actually had a reaction on it here. So just not clear. Looks like, actually, I'm just seeing this right now. This bar looks like it was an OJ. It went 2 ticks above it. If I was here, I don't know that I would have taken it, honestly, because, well, there's nothing to the downside. I don't know. It'd just be, if I had done this like I've done it now before that happened, then I'd be thinking to myself, well, we already have a break, much more than a new high. Can I trust it? It could be a failed break out of a tight range. I don't know. I wonder what I would have done, but I'm seeing it now that I set back down. So this was an OJ. I'm not even going to mark it because, I mean, who knows if I would have taken that or not. So that's where we're at. It seems like these range highs are being respected for now. And yeah, just not really too sure. All I know is that it just seems like it keeps going up. This was the largest pullback we've had other than this one down here early on. Looks very similar, actually. So if it continues, then I guess I can continue to look for longs. If it breaks this again, I don't know that I can look for longs anymore because I think maybe it's already broken. So hard to say. I'll be back when I see something clear. All right, so I'm going to delete this bigger range. Doesn't seem to be in play. Yeah, looking at this, I wasn't here, but it kind of looks like a new low. Maybe you could say first entry short, second entry short, although these are equal lows, so that could be a reset too. But first entry short, second entry short, failure above it, and then an OJ right behind it. I think those are, when I see a combination like that, I think I need to take those. But of course, I wasn't here for it to even consider it. They seem to work. Seems like we have a new channel, potentially. All right, I'll be back. All right, I changed my channel up to a narrower version, which has a break and new high already. So waiting to see what happens here. I'm expecting this channel to not hold up here anymore. And since we already have a breakdown here, I'm really not going to be playing it for a new high. I'm just going to have to get some further confirmation of what's happening. All right, so here's what I was kind of expecting here. And I'm not expecting a retest of the high, because I think we already got a breakdown here and new highs. So we got a first entry long, second entry long right now. If this stays within this channel and fails, there might be a PB below it. So just watching to see what happens here. The second entry long has gone 6 ticks. So maybe people are expecting a retest. I wouldn't take a failure here. Far from the EMA. And just like that. But there is potential for a PB down here. I mean, you can have this either way. You can have it this way with the break, new high, or if you made it so this stayed within, then you have the overshoot. It's still got a new high, but this would be the first break. So I think either way, we're not looking for longs anymore. Failure just happened. Get
Order
ready with
submitted.
an order for a short, looking for a PB potentially. Which would be a continuation of the failed second entry long. This channel is looking legit. The other thing you could potentially get is a first entry short and then a second entry short to get the retest for this low if it breaks out of here. As long as you're right about this being a break, or as long as you're right about this being moved over and an overshoot. Depends how you see it. To me, it's that though. You expect one leg down, two legs down. Stacking out. So kind of a close down here. Could give you a PB. This channel I have is starting to look not so good. I feel like it's that. I'm not even sure what this channel is. I mean, to me, there's no channel. Maybe if you draw it wide, it could be like that. Getting ready for a potential PB down here. Don't love how stacked up this is. Nothing yet. This here is first entry, second entry. It's not the EMA. It's congested. You can make an argument to draw it that way. So if this is a second entry short that triggers and creates a PB, I'll have to take it. That'd be a situation where it's like the continuation of the second entry short. It's also a lower high to a failed second entry long. And if it's a PB in combination, it's kind of like one of those situations I was just talking about in continuation of a second entry. Looks like it's not going that direction though, right now. So let's see if I make it wider again. Let's still hold up here. I mean, that's really stretching it. Certainly won't want to take a second entry short here. So this may be acting as if people are still expecting a retest of the high. The second entry long would have worked. Would you want to take a second entry short up here after this bar? It seems like they're wanting to try for the retest. don't see any channel. Second entry short. I'm honestly not sure about the second entry short. I feel like I'd be more sure about a PB that comes after it. I'm waiting for the PB. Second entry short. Looks like it would have worked. I'll trade the continuation on the PB.
Order filled.
Second entry short, better for the risk management. Really don't want to pull back because it could hurt my PA account. Here we go. Always makes me nervous when it goes 7 ticks and starts trying to bounce, but it should be good. Oh boy. 7 ticks. Come back down and get me. more tick guarantees. One more tick. There we go. Guaranteed.
Order filled.
All right, so we got a win on the NLTS. And I mean, feels like I should have taken this, which is the second entry short. But the point of me doing this was really to be trading my strategy. And I saw the potential for the PB to come right after second entry short. And even though it's bigger risk, to take it, this is my setup for NLTS. So that's the trade I really want to take, honestly. Plus 8 ticks. Now, I'd love to be able to, at some point, consider being able to do runners too, but I'll take this. This is a little bit of a boost to my confidence. I keep saying and seeing that when I get a PATS entry and then it's followed immediately by an LTS entry, they seem to be working in my testing like a lot more. And that's new for me. You know, I've only been looking at this the past 2 weeks, drawing channels and seeing where my NLTS strategy lines up with the PATS channels. So, all right, let me pause here and update the stats, and I'll be back. All right, so I'm back now. You can see a runner. Definitely opportunity to get some more if I had one. So that's something I am interested in exploring at some point with these counts in trading my strategy. I just don't have enough. There's just not enough trailing drawdown to try to do runners, because one loss will just kill your trailing drawdown on either the 50K or the 25K, really. When I did this trade, I had a really large stop. It's like almost 8 points or something. So, you take one bad trade that doesn't work out and boom, your account is destroyed. So I can't do runners at the moment. I did update my numbers. I'm now 40 and 11 overall on YouTube. And I missed something here. This should say, where is it? Forgot to do, this should be 38 and 10 for my NLTS strategy. I believe. I don't think I updated that. Let me see. 38 and 10. 40 and 11. Yeah, so that's right. So I'm 38 and 10 overall on my NLTS strategy. It's still 79%. 40 and 11 overall. 2 and 1 on the PATS. The PB, currently my strongest setup. 88% with 16 trades. So we're getting up there in sample size, and it's continuing to hold up. And I think OJ will be good too overall. They happen the least amount of times. But I think eventually this number will catch up to PB, hopefully. LO, I'm still not sure. still a little wary of it. But all right, so happy I got a trade. I feel like it was a great setup. I'm very much interested in continuing to look for these situations where you get a PATS entry followed by a NLTS entry. I mean, in reality, I'd like to get to the point where I can trust the PATS trade and take this. This is only a 7-tick bar, so you're risking 9 ticks. So to risk 2.25 points, I'd love to be able to take this entry, and then I'd already be out on this bar. You don't know that going in, and then be able to enter right again on the PB. It did give me a little bit of anxiety when it hit. It hit 7 ticks and was seeming like it was trying to go up, but eventually it just gave it up and gave me my scalp. So might need to adjust this, possibly. And again, that's why the second entry short was a little bit suspect to me. Is like it wasn't like a clearly defined downtrend channel. So I just felt like I could see that there was a PB waiting for me down here. So it was like, okay, well, if the second entry short works, it'll give me the PB. And then that's the exact situation I'm liking, where I'm seeing a PATS entry followed by an NLTS entry. I just keep seeing it work in my testing over the weekend. It's not a huge sample size, but had the measured leg down as well. Seemed like everything was played out to the top with the break here, new high. So that's where I'm at. I'll pause here and see if anything sets up. Really, really happy to get a win again, because these lift your spirits when you're going through hard times and things aren't working. It's just the beginning. This account is still not out of danger. So that's my main priority at the moment in these trades. But I gotta be able to keep taking these setups. All right, let's see what happens. Just following up on this large channel. I mean, the way I see it really, that I always had in mind was it was an overshoot. I think this was the right thing. It was like, here's the channel intact from the bottom. It had a break, and then it went and it overshot. And so then it surprisingly still had a kind of a reaction here. I tried to adjust it the other way to make it so it's like right off the key entry point. But I think it was so strong that anyone that was trying to take a short over here for like a failure or second entry short, there was enough strength to still stop them out. One last push up, but this channel had already been outplayed or played out. And so then when you get longs trying to go in, especially after this big bullish bar, the longs probably thought, okay, we're going to retest whatever channel they thought they saw, or whatever their strategy is. They thought always long, and then that gave the setup here. So I think this channel is actually correct, that it was a break and an overshoot, and I wouldn't expect a retest. It can happen, but I wouldn't take a setup to get a retest. And then I think this down channel is legit here. So to me, I would expect a retest of the down channel. Though this is interesting because you have first entry short, inside bar. It's not truly a second entry short. So I don't know. I'm going to try to wait for something super clear like this. But I also don't want to trade scared. I think that's been part of my problem, is I'm just trading scared, skipping so many trades. And, in essence, I admit I was scared to take this. It wasn't clear to me exactly what was happening. The channel wasn't clear here. And, I didn't know if we already had a break or not. So I wasn't positive or confident with the PATS strategy for the second entry short, even though it looked like it should be good. But the PB right after definitely felt Like I felt really confident there in that spot. So that's what I want to feel. You know, I want to have clear reasons to get in. And when I see that, it's like, you know, even though I got nervous when it was hitting 7 ticks and not getting there, yeah, I didn't move anything. I just stayed with it and trusted it, waited for this bar to close. It wasn't a bullish bar. And all indications was it should work. You know, here's what I'd say is the real second entry. First entry short, second entry short. I would never take an entry, a Pat's entry that has no wick on it. I just don't trust those. Anyway, I'm going to pause here. A lot of time. It's 9:30, so I've got about 3 hours. Would love to have a day where I can get multiple trades and have some success and really let the strategy work. So it looks like this, what I consider a second entry short, first entry, second entry, would have worked, but I don't like the way that looks. So I don't take those Pat's trades like that. All right, still watching. All right, so here a Pat's second entry short setup, first entry, second entry, flat EMA. We already had a downtrend break, new low. We're right at the previous day's high, which may be support. I'm looking and saying, you know, no reason to take a short here, even if it works. It closed right above the EMA, right on it. I'm looking to see if maybe there's going to be some sort of failure here. Because that's what I'm thinking is trap the shorts. First entry short, second entry short. And one leg, 2 legs. So I'm considering this.
Order submitted.
It's very sideways. See the low here. So they're in for 90.50. So it went 3 ticks in their favor. So I'm considering this. Now it's gone 4 ticks. So if it comes up now, it'd be a 4-tick failure. Some concern, something I didn't look at yesterday, potential for some kind of like range action. Not really though, kind of. Got to trade into this. This is the kind of thing I skipped a couple of times. It was sideways like this yesterday. They would have ended up working. So let's just see here. And close above the EMA. It's not above the EMA. So maybe we'll close a little bit higher, like 1 tick higher. There's a failure. Second guess myself on the Pat's entries, honestly.
There's there's resistance here potentially, resistance up there. See if I can wait till the bar is getting closer to closing. See if it'll be a bullish bar. Maybe I waited too long. Yeah. Waited too long.
Order canceled.
All right. I was just wanting to wait. I was hoping that it would be like still right around here when it was getting ready to close and then sneak in. How high did it go? Yeah, so it already went 8 ticks. At least I was reading it right. A little confidence boost that I'm reading it right. I really wanted it to close 1 tick higher. Would have gave me more confidence to just get in. But yeah, the read is right. You know, yesterday I took a failure and I lost because I didn't draw a potential range like that, and I had a similar thing. So it had a pivot in the way like it does here, and it had another one just higher like it does here. And I chose to ignore them yesterday and take the trade, and I lost. Today, you ignore them and you'll win. Maybe the context was a little bit better here, because that's a great trap bar to get shorts in. So, all right, reading things good. It's a good sign. Just looking at this first entry short. First entry short, second entry short, higher low to retest the high of this channel that broke. Never good at taking these and engulfing. Room to the top. Just unsure. These are the kinds of trades when I was trading Pats all the time that, you know, it's like when I take them, they fail. When I don't take them, they work. So I never feel comfortable taking these. Maybe if there was a second entry long, but I'm just not clear on direction or what's happening right now. So I'm just waiting. All right, so if you took the higher low, you're stopped out. It's just a funny thing. I mean, flat EMA, just not clear what direction the market's taking at this point. I kind of like to draw these because sometimes these turn into something. So first entry long, it's very stacked up. You see first entry short, second entry short, first entry long. Yeah, so not really sure. Not really sure what to expect here. We're right at the previous day's high. It's it seems like it's trying to act as support potentially. Just not clear. I'm going to pause here and wait for something. All right, so I'm just watching what it's doing here. If it does turn down, maybe this is one leg down and looking for a second leg down. So that's one idea. The other idea is you still need a retest of this high, which would make this channel not be a channel. And that'd be pretty rude if you took the higher low, got stopped out by one tick just for it to go where you thought. But I don't see any setups for me in this area at all for either strategy. This came up just shy of the measured move up for the two legs, but doesn't mean that that wasn't already what it's going to do. So these are the things I'm telling myself as I'm watching this, but just nothing clear. It looks like this will not be a down channel. It looks like this will be the channel with the break and new low already. And so then the next thing I'd be considering is if this is one leg, two legs like this. This is not a channel. So we're not looking for this. So that's kind of what I'm looking for now. If that's the case, then maybe we're looking at potentially a wider channel like this. So I'm going to pause and see if anything comes up. Looking at this, I don't think it's going to qualify for a PB for the long side. Even if it did, it sketches me out where it is. No, it would be a white PB. One rule not in place, which is what I was thinking would be the case. You have the measured move to reach, and we're inside a potential channel, but it's not confirmed, and you'd be needing kind of an overshoot at this point. So it's just not something I could take. I don't take the white ones. I know I've talked about potentially there's reasons to take them. I am seeing this was a first entry long, second entry long, bad signal bar. So maybe it's a white PB after a second entry long. But I'll just watch it and consider that if it works. It's another one in the books that would have worked, but I'm not ready to take them yet. The entry would have been 96.25. It's gone up to 97 so far. This was the bar. This was the trigger for the PB. But I've seen this happen multiple times since I've been doing this on YouTube. And, I think in this context, they seem to work. but taking them means that it's almost like I'm eliminating one of the rules for what a PB is if I'm going to start taking these. Just one element that wasn't quite in place yet, but it was in place at the close of this bar. So it's like if you can pre-see that it will come into place on the next bar, maybe that is good enough reason to take it. It's gone 4 ticks so far. It seems like it'll just grind up until you get to that measured move, potentially. I'll pause and see what happens. All right, so now it's 1 tick away from a tick scalp working for this PB. The high here is 98, so 98.25 would guarantee 8 or 6 ticks scalp. Like I said, it seems like it'll just grind higher until it gets to that measured move. Possibly a little bit of an overshoot, but it's not even confirmed yet on the bottom, so I won't consider it an overshoot. I just move it up. It's still touching wicks here. And one more tick, and this white PB would have worked. I wasn't getting into the habit of marking white setups, but there, it would have worked. The reason why I'm going to start marking them is just for my own sake to keep track, because I take screenshots at the end of the day. I'm seeing, again, it's another situation where it's first entry long, second entry long. There wasn't like a second entry long you could take on max setups. But it is a second entry long with a bad signal bar, and it is a continuation on the PB. So it's just something I have to keep watching and observing to see, especially in a situation like this where we were expecting the retest of this. Of course, this is higher than that, but we were also looking at the measured move up, and the down channel was played out. It was pretty clearly played out. So, there's reasons to say you could take a chance. That the problem, though, is that if you take this PB, here's where the issue is. If you take this PB at 96.25 is the entry, my stop would be at 89. So you're talking about 7.25 points. 7.25 points of risk on this trade. And that's where it gets hard mentally to take a setup like this if it's missing one of my rules. And so you consider it subjective, and you've already reached a new high on the channel you have. And all you're counting on is, okay, maybe that channel is one leg, and now you're looking for the second leg. That you're hanging 7.25 points on the fact that you believe that this is a valid measured move to reach, and that there's nothing to the downside, and that even though you get this new high, that's not just going to turn back down the other way or something. So it's all the mental stuff is the hardest part of trading, and no matter what strategy I trade, that remains true, whether it's my Nlts that I came up with or PATs. The hardest part is when you see a setup to overcome the doubt, the fear, and all those things that make you say, I'm not sure, don't take it. Maybe what if, and then when it works, you go, I knew I should have taken it. And when it doesn't work, you go, I knew I shouldn't have taken it. And then that's the mental game that just continues to grind on me. I'm sure a lot of people go through it. But this past 2 weeks, it's like how to have 5 awesome weeks on my new strategy and then you hit week 6, and then boom, you just get like a hammer to the head. And then last week wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. And then to take a loss yesterday, even though that wasn't even my strategy, that was Pat's strategy. But it's just like it wears on you to take losses. And I'm pretty good at accepting my losses. I don't move my stops. I don't kind of get out of control. I don't revenge trade. So there's a lot of things that I'm doing that are good. But the things that are bad is like yesterday to skip 8 trades that would have worked and then take that 9th trade right when you're going to wrap up at 12:30 and get a loss. That's just, exhausting on my mental. It just really wears me down. So, but I keep sticking to it, keep trying. It's hard to give up because I've put so much time and effort into trading. At some point, I do believe it's going to have to pay off, because what's the alternative? I'm going to give up after everything I've put into this. 3 years trading the ES and not being profitable, but I'm reading the market well for the most part. On days where it's readable, I think I do a pretty good job, especially now that I'm drawing this again. I think my understanding of Mac's philosophy on the context of the market, using the channels and the ranges and everything, I think I'm there. I'm pretty good. It's just slipping up and getting caught in some bad trades. Not seeing the reasons to not take a trade in real time, but you see it once you lose, you go, oh, this or that. And then, but then it's the same thing. You have a trade like this where you have the same reasons as yesterday to not take it. Yesterday's didn't work, today's worked. You can argue whether the context was different this time for this long versus the short I took yesterday, but the reality is I saw the same sort of thing. I saw a trend, a break, a new extreme, and then I saw a reversal pattern on the other side of the EMA. This one didn't even close on the other side of the EMA. The one I took did. This one worked. The one I took yesterday lost. So, and my loss yesterday caused me to not enter this one today. And that's kind of the game. That's what happens on the psychology level. You get a loss yesterday, your brain remembers that and goes, oh, there was a pivot here yesterday that could have been like a sign of a resistance, or there's this one too. Both of them block the 8-tick scalp, and then and this is exactly what I went through yesterday. And then you go, oh well, maybe this was a range. I should have known not to take it because it didn't work. But look, I have the same exact thing here. It's a range. It's a potential range. I didn't take it. It worked yesterday. The same exact thing. I overlooked it or ignored it, whatever you want to say, because I did see these pivots yesterday to the downside, and I took it anyway, and it lost. So, you tell me, like, can you count on that every time? Can you count on, if this is the reasons why to not take a trade, or again, to believe that you're in a potential range, and that's a reason to not take the trade, then you're going to skip this trade, right? You're going to skip it every time, and then you're going to see it work. And then you're going to see it work enough times that you're going like, well, it keeps working. I'm going to take it. That's the time you're going to lose. For sure. Because that's what happens to me. Or maybe it's just me. I don't know. All right, so we got the measured move. We stayed in this channel. Everything looks legit. Maybe we're going to just retest the high. Maybe we're going to continue to go up higher. I have no idea what the market's doing at this point, other than the fact that we're in what looks like is going to be a solid channel. And in fact, I might even just say this is a channel too. Right. And so we've got to break a new high already of that. So I'm not looking to retest that. So now it's going to just all depend on whether this channel holds up. If it comes down here, does it get confirmed, and does it give us a setup? All right, I've been talking too much. Let's see what happens next. Here's that. I It's not really, it's not a lower high. But first entry short. Is this equal lows? Yeah. So second entry short here. Already trend break, new high, but I'm not going against the trend. So other people might not have drawn this yet. And so they see it as leg up, break, new high, second entry short. They can take it, get down here. I'm pretty confident that if I take a trade like that, I lose. So no trade for me. All right. I just realized I didn't feed the dogs yet. Market's kind of in a place where just going to have to see what happens. I wouldn't feel comfortable taking any longs way up here after the 2 measured legs up. Kind of who knows what's happening. So good time to take a break for me, and I'll be back in like 20 minutes or something. All right, just getting back from taking care of the dogs. Doesn't look like a whole lot has happened. But I leave some around here. So, yeah, whole lot, nothing, no setups. And this thing just seems like it doesn't want to go down. That's the only thing I know. It doesn't want to go down. Ironically, my one trade was a short. Okay, so I'll pause here and see if something comes up. All right, so this is interesting. Been thinking we have this channel here, but we had to close below. Just seeing if I widen it. We still have touches on the wicks, so maybe that's okay. So I'll give that a chance. There's no trade here anyway. But this will be an interesting area now. It's possible that it was just, like one leg there, one leg here, and then 2 legs to a new high, and maybe it's played out. Also possible that, I don't know, let's see. Yeah, maybe there's some sort of range working. Don't really necessarily see one, but possible. I'm going to take this off because it just kind of is worthless at this point. But we did have a reaction here, so I'm going to give this channel a chance. I don't see any trade on this inside bar, so even though it's a second entry long. And just waiting. Got, let's see, it's almost 11, so about an hour and a half left. And man, would I love to get a second trade today. Let's see. All right, while I was sitting here, just decided it looked like there was kind of like a even bottom here and double top here. So it's potentially some range action here. I'm not seeing any setups that I'm close to taking it anywhere in here currently, but I just wanted to put this on the chart and keep it in mind for now. Let's see, we still have some time. All right, it's a little after 11:30. This market has really slowed down to a crawl, and this channel seems to be holding, and as well as the range. So whether it squeezes out and shoots up, or failed breakout and comes back in, who knows? No kinds of setups whatsoever for me in any of this, and just still watching. Less than an hour left for today, and would love to get another trade, but not gonna take anything crazy. And it looks like maybe the range is gonna win here. First test, second test, third test, fourth test. But I'm definitely not going short into this. And all right, let's see what happens. All right, so this is interesting. Had this range, it went right through the bottom here. But I think this channel up is pretty legit, so I would expect another retest of the high there. I don't know if you're going to draw a channel. Doesn't really look like there's a channel. If you go from here, maybe do something like that. I don't really see any setups. The only setup would be like a Mac 3T, but this went lower. And it's potentially inside of some kind of down channel, maybe. Not a strong finish. I would definitely not take a trade here. But maybe if there's some kind of second entry long, high or low situation, maybe. Unsure. Again, I think range trading is my weakest area. But failed breakout seems to be good. Seems super risky to me, but look at that. So the idea of the retesting the high seems to be the thing, but I'm definitely not taking a trade there. I take that. This thing just goes the other way. All right, I'm pause here, see what happens. Got half hour, maybe a little bit more. So here's a second entry long, potentially right here, right under the EMA that's flat. After a failed breakout, it's a higher low. I'm pretty sure that would be a MAC trade to retest the high of this channel. And it's just a trade that I can't take. I won't take this trade. I don't trust it. When I do take it, I feel like I lose. And so I'm not considering this trade. But let's see what happens. I'll pause and come back. Let's see. That trade I was thinking, second entry long, high or low, never triggered. I see a potential downtrend that looks pretty confirmed. So just the concern here is the range. There is a potential PB if it closes down here. That I will have to consider. The only thing is I'm concerned. This looks legitimate to me, this channel up. If this channel is legitimate, then I shouldn't be looking for shorts. Now, that's the whole reason why I'm drawing these channels now. It's not really so that I take Pat's trades. It's so that I understand the context for my other chart for Nlts, so that I don't take a trade based on a setup according to my mechanical rules on that indicator, just to end up taking a loss because I didn't understand the context. So here, we've got mixed context. According to this, what I'm seeing, I should be expecting a new high of this. And, but yet we have a down channel that is confirmed. So I can't take a long in, I can't take a short, and I'm in a range. So, and it's very stacked up, these bars. So definitely can't go long, can't go short, gotta wait. About a half hour left. And just waiting for a solid setup. If there are no more today, I'm happy with the trade I took today. I think that was a really solid setup. I think that's the way I need to do it. And the way I just entered without much thinking beyond the parameters I was looking for on this trade. I think that was good. Yesterday I did the same thing, took a loss, but it was a Pat's entry. I'm happy I waited. I skipped the Pat's entry here and waited for my NLTS entry. So it's possible we're going to go lower here. It's possible we'll get a PB that works, but I don't feel like I can take it right now. The only way I could take it is if I say that this is not valid. And it's hard for me to say it's not valid. You get touch here, touches all the way here. Kept working. So not looking at this PB. If this comes down here and triggers a PB, I will just watch and observe. All right, pausing for now. I just stepped away for a second, came back. I mean, it looks like first entry long, second entry long. That went up and down. I walked away, so I don't know if it went up first or went down first and then went up. Not entirely sure. Like I said, if it closes down here, I am not going to take the PB, because to me, right now, according to my current rules, it will be a white PB because I'm expecting a retest of the high. So maybe that's wrong. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Maybe my system was fine. I just hit a bad week and got some losses on week 6. But right now, this is why I'm doing this. So I'm not going to go against my read of the market structure. And it is making me feel some sort of way that it looks like it's going to come down here and be a PB if it triggers down here. And I'll just have to watch it in this case. And maybe over time, I'll decide that this is stupid and just go back to what I was doing originally when I started this YouTube channel. So we'll see. I almost feel like it could be like first entry long, second entry long, fail, and then trap the trappers and go to retest the high. That's almost what it feels like. The other thing I could do, see one leg down. So you kind of expect that, which would help sell the idea of a PB. But I can't get over that I see this channel. That's the thing. All right, so I'm going to pause here. We'll see how it plays out. All right, so yeah, this looks legit to me. I'm not going to remove it. And I know yet Mac would never draw that, but I draw these. And then, so we had the failed breakout, first entry long, and here was a second entry long. I don't think a great signal bar, but not bad. Not a lot of room to the EMA, but it's very flat. And you do expect the retest of the high. So, you know, if you take this away, it looks more like how Mac would have it. You'd have the failed breakout, and then you'd have the high or low. Second entry long, expecting a retest of the high. Maybe enough reasons to take it. But again, my psychology, I feel like if I enter that, it's going sideways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th bar by the time this one triggers. 8 bars sideways. I feel like if I enter that, I am going to take a losing trade. So that's not a trade for me. And I got to stick with that because that's the reality. And oh, look at this. So maybe all these people are trapped. How far did that go? 97.75. The high is 98.75. So here you go. This could be a 4-tick failure right now. And trap the longs. And then this would give some credence to, if there's a close down here, it will be a PB. But I'm still not going to take it, even though it's going to trap these second entry and longs. You would think it would work, but I'm still stuck on this up here. And so now you have a break, and to get a new low is only a few more ticks. So technically you can stop out the longs by a tick or two and then bounce the other way still to get the new high. So I'm just going to stay clear of this because the context doesn't work for me for a PB in this moment. Now you might have a triple test here with a higher low, but it's still just, it doesn't, I wouldn't trust that either for my personal trading. And there it is. So these guys are stopped out. That's a PB. This bar is a PB right now. But now you've already got the new low. they're already stopped out, and this thing could just reverse. I know I have this measured move here, but I've seen this not work in these sorts of situations recently when drawing these channels. So whereas before, when I was not looking at all this stuff, I only had a reason to take a short right now under this bar. And this might be an example of when a PB will lose. Now, I don't know that this is going to lose. This PB might be great and come down here and give a perfect scalp for my 8 ticks. But now I've already got a new low off this channel down, and I'm expecting a new high. So I can't take it. Let's see how it plays out, though. I'll just let it run. My expectation is that this is now a trap the trappers. So anyone that took the failed second entry long down here is going to get trapped, is my thought. And this will go all the way back up. And so if I took the PB, I would have got trapped. That's what I think. Could be entirely wrong. Maybe Nlts is smarter than channels, but I just don't want to take the chance. And this is all part of why I decided to draw these channels now. Like this is me testing it with whoever's watching these videos, being able to see what I'm seeing and how I'm testing it. So this was my idea. The concept is that maybe market structure and the context of the market, by understanding what the channels are doing, maybe can keep me out of some bad trades for my strategy that I created on Nlts on my other chart with my secret indicator. And, this very much to me looks like and feels like one of the times that I've lost on the PB. You can see here, I'm 14-2 on it. And I wouldn't be surprised if the 2 losses was some kind of situation like this. I'm always looking for reasons why something might lose. Maybe it'll still work, but maybe it makes it lose sometimes more than other times. Who knows? This is taking longer than I thought. I just really have a feeling this is going to fly back up here. I'll pause it and we'll just see what happens when I come back, because I don't want to make this video longer than it has to be. Okay, maybe it's going to work. It's trying to sucker me in, but I'm not going to do it. All right, it's just taking forever. I'm going to pause. All right, and of course, as soon as I pause, it started making a move up. So I just kind of want to see this play out if it does go the other way. I'll just call this a white PB for now. And this market's slow. I mean, literally, it's so crazy. Like from 10 o'clock. Yeah, it's up 5 points. There's only been 71 bars in 2 hours and 10 minutes. 2 hours and 13 minutes. It's not a lot. Yeah, I really want to know if the PB is trapped or not. Take this line away. That looks like the PB is going to work. The low. So I'd be in at 43.95. And the low here is 93.50. So it's still 2 ticks shy. 2 ticks shy of giving me my 8 or 6 tick scalp. It's gone 6 ticks. It just so feels like this is where I would be trapped. Now, if I was only going for 4 tick scalp, I would have got it. Or 5. It would have worked for me. But I go for 6 to 8. You already have a break, a new low. You also had first entry short, second entry short, by the way. So this was a second entry short followed by a PB. Interestingly enough. All right, I'll pause here. All right, so here's this move up that I was expecting. And I would have been in 1 tick under here. So it's gone, what, 1.75 points, but take off 1 tick of that because below that bar by 1 tick. So it went 6 ticks. I would have not got my scalp. My stop would have had to be here for the PB. Interestingly enough, if I took the second entry short, the low here, 95.50 to the bottom, 93.50, I would have got a 6 tick scalp. So second entry short would have worked, not even taking engulfing, but PB would fail. Well, it hasn't failed yet, but it's looking like it'll fail. So I'll pause and we'll see if it ultimately does or not. All right, so it's making its way up to where my stop would have been on a PB. I almost want to play with the idea of just putting the stop loss 1 tick above the bar that I enter on a PB to just massively reduce the risk. Because then it's the same idea as like a MAC entry. Your risk is the size of the bar plus a tick, or tick on top and tick on bottom. So in this case, this PB 7 tick bar would be a 9 tick risk as opposed to like a almost 4 point risk up here. So the way I see it, this downtrend is played out with a new low. Went for the measured move, almost got there but didn't. And I'm thinking it's going to go retest the high still here. Maybe this is, well, who knows? But it looks like I'm still in the PB if I was in this trade. So that's interesting, but would be feeling very bad if I was in the trade seeing all this. And now I'd probably be wanting to get out with break even +1 at this point. Really just no idea what's happening in this market. It's 12:20. I'm not going to take another trade today at this point. I'm really just waiting. I'm curious to see what's going to happen with the BB. That's really all I'm here for still. So I'll pause here and we'll see what happens with it, and then we'll call it a day. All right, here we go. So we're just about at the stop. I just realized too, from a reset here, it's first entry, second entry long, failed breakout down here. I already had the new low, basically made the measured move, would have been stopped out of the PB, would have gone 6 ticks in my favor, and I would have lost. would have been a 6-tick failure for me in that trade. And so there you go. I think that's an example of why I started to draw these channels, is to keep me out of something where I don't have that kind of context on my NLTS chart, like to the left here, but I can get context from drawing Pat's channels. And I'm trying not to really take Pat's entries too much unless they're just like painfully obvious for me to take them. Otherwise, I consider them mostly white subjective trades. So I'll get into some of that. I'll talk about some of that in my review in the other video for today. But I think it's just about 12:30 almost. I think it's time for me to call it a day. Not too bad. I'm happy with the 1-0. I'm happy with my patience today. I feel like I feel like I was trading the right way. I wasn't kind of trying to revenge trade from yesterday, from my loss, trying to get it back. And the reality is I did get it back because one trade is almost entirely making up the loss. It was a 2.25, 2.25 point loss yesterday. And I got 2 points back today. So still slightly red for the week because of the loss yesterday, but one more good trade. And we're back in the green for the week. And there was not a lot of action today, not a lot of opportunities. There was a lot of moments where the market wasn't very clear. And, I think I did a good job of just being patient, waiting, and found a great setup here. So that's it for today. 2 hours. I think I'm going to continue just recording my trading sessions like I'm doing right now, because I've been trading since 6:45. So, it's a 6-hour day almost. But my recording is only 2 hours. So you can see anytime there was any action, anytime I was thinking about something, it's all here in a 2-hour recording, as opposed to if I was doing a live stream, there would be essentially a 6-hour recording of my live stream. I don't know what's better. If anyone has any comments, if you got this far, if you're still watching, and you, for any reason, want to see me live stream, down with trying it. But otherwise, if you just like this format, then I'll just keep doing this. All right, that's all for today. This is the last day for 90% discount. I'll tell you right now. You can use this code or any other code you might have. But this discount's supposed to expire at midnight tonight on Tuesday. And then who knows what the discount will be after today. But we'll find out, and I'll tell you tomorrow. That's it for me today. Thanks for watching. Appreciate any likes or subscriptions. And do it again tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.